It's the weekend, and that means it's time to look at the week ahead. Welcome to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast, a sports ethos presentation hosted by yours truly, Aaron Bruski, and FSWA Hall of Famer Steve Dr. A. Alexander. Not only are we trying to get ahead of the chaos, but we are, I think, our second to last week ahead show. It's basically the Roto folks and some other Looney Tunes out there who are taking it all the way to the end. So it's a little sad. I'm not going to lie. This whole thing, these next couple of weeks will be sad. It's like 24/7 fantasy hoops for like 6, 7, 8 months, and then it just stops. And we all have issues with that. But we'll get through it together, and we will get you all prepared for this upcoming week. And before we do all of that, let's say hello to Bet Online, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all things March Madness. Even if your bracket's busted, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with a free Sweet 16 bracket and live betting on every remaining tournament game with the largest selection of odds on everything from college ball, MLB, NHL, and MMA. BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every Cinderella story to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, every win. BetOnline. The game starts here. Interesting. We have we might. I don't know if I'm allowed to read this on air, but I'm gonna. We might have a special announcement coming soon for fantasy basketball GMs. That's really interesting. So you definitely gonna want to stay tuned to Ethos Fantasy NBA on Twitter and Blue Sky and all of the different platforms. And I know I've seen some of this stuff going on in the background. If you like playing in good fantasy leagues, maybe that's what this is connected to. I don't know why Andres, you're dripping this out, and I don't know what I don't know at this point, which is sad because I run the place. Doc, how are you? Can you sing for us?
Brew, what's up?
What time is it? What are we doing here on this show?
The week ahead is finally here again, but it's going away very soon.
I love it. We promised at the end of last episode we would sing the entire episode. Andre didn't think it was a good idea.
No more singing.
No more singing. Okay, well, let's break down the schedule instead of singing. I really do want to do that for an entire show. Is sing the whole damn thing. And if you were into that sort of thing and watching us on YouTube, drop a thumbs up on the video. If you're tuning in on Twitter, follow us at Ethos Fantasy NBA. And if you're listening on the pod feed, shoot us a 5-star review. 22 teams.
Sure, we would have 3 deaf individuals watching that show.
But they would be super fans. Those 3 people would love us, and they would buy our CD for $10. I got the other day. Somebody sold me their CD for $10. It was such a sucker. I was in San Diego. I was walking the mean streets of San Diego.
Saw some dude.
Hey man, check it out. Blah blah blah. It's like, oh man, here's $10. He's like, why not 20? And I looked at him like,
did you not even see him play?
No. I felt bad. I was a sucker. I felt bad.
You just bought a CD from a dude,
and I don't even know where it went. I think I might have just taken it and thrown it in the garbage. It's brutal. I'm a sucker.
I thought maybe you watched a guy perform for a couple hours while you were having dinner. Or hanging at a bar, and after the show, he sold the CDs for $10.
No,
and you were like, I really like this kid. I want to help him out. It was really good.
Yeah, it was that part. It was the world's worst sales pitch, and I was like, oh, I got this hole in my heart for people, and I was like, here's the $10,
dude.
And then he's like, can you do 20? And I looked at him like, dude, I'm about to take the $10 back. I already feel dumb as is. I'm such a sucker. The week ahead.
I want to see and hear that CD.
Okay,
I need
I'll
you
see
to
if
find
it made it to the bottom of the suitcase, because that night was Paper Planes night. We figured out what Paper Planes the drink are, and that was actually the second leg of the night. And that was
do you know Paper Planes the song?
No, what was Paper Planes the song?
Oh yeah.
You have to tell me that one off air. I'll look into that.
MIA. Just check it out.
Okay. 22 teams play 4 games. That's a lot. And then 8 teams play 3 games. So we got a ton of NBA action coming. 2 back-to-backs for 3 teams. 2 teams with 2 back-to-backs. That's really an amazing feat of scheduling to have all those games and only have 3 teams with 2 back-to-backs in this mix. That's the Knicks. Not much cooking there from this perspective. Atlanta, we just kind of want to watch. They don't have a lot to play for. So maybe theoretically Trae Young takes a game off. Who knows? The Clippers, definitely a team that with back-to-backs, that is, that's going to impact Kawhi. And then who else knows on down the list? Teams with 1 back-to-back, it's a whole lot of them. I'll just give you some, some quick thoughts there. Charlotte, probably, the LaMelo Ball, and on down the list, Miles Bridges. I know you hate to hear that, Doc, for your 30 deep championship squad. Milwaukee, the Giannis, maybe even Brook Lopez. Toronto, who knows what that means for a squad like that. Golden State, maybe you see the old dudes rest. The Lakers, maybe you see the old dudes rest. Memphis, who knows? And if you hadn't heard yesterday, they have a new coach. So interesting stuff there. The Ja Morants, the Jaren Jacksons, they might get a game of rest. Washington, 1 back-to-back. I don't know if that hurts them or helps them. They got a weird thing going on in Washington where we just don't know what they're doing half the time. And then Detroit, Cade Cunningham, missing time with that calf. A back-to-back might not be good for him, so he might rest a game there. Teams with no back-to-backs, Boston, that helps their constant churn, though I think they'll just rest guys anyway. Utah.
Al Horford, baby. Come on. Let's play 4, buddy.
That's what I was saying. I think they might give him a send-off week. Maybe that's going to help your 30-deep squad as Mike Passador.
No back-to-backs for Boston is the best news I've heard in a while. Like that's good news for me.
And I mean, that's a nice angle there. I really think that they might give him a send-off where they're like, hey, he'll have a couple of nice moments, 2 or 3 good games, as a thank you for his career. Utah, no back-to-backs there. So a little bit helpful, but who knows with those guys. Oklahoma City.
Helps Jalen Williams.
Yeah. Chet helps him. There's probably a little bit of rest mixed in there for those guys, but that's about as good as it gets this deep into the season for a team like Oklahoma City that's as good as they are boat racing the field. The fact that these guys kind of play as much as they have has been a good thing. Cleveland, no back-to-backs. They've been resting guys, and that might turn into a ton of rest for certain players like Donovan Mitchell, et cetera. They're already saying publicly they'll be resting guys. So interesting there. And then Philly, no back-to-backs. I don't know if that impacts them so much, but it might help certain players that we like there stay on the floor. All right. So games per day, a very kind of middle of the road week. Last week we had the super uniform, almost every day had the same amount of games. This week, 7 games on Tuesday, 6 games on Thursday, and 5 games on Saturday. Those are your days of the week with quality games, and the rest of the days have either 8, 9, 10, or 11. So that gets you a little bit prepped up here. We're going to talk about the best streaming schedule, which is for Memphis. They play Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We'll talk about the second best streaming schedule in Orlando. We'll hit Chicago, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Philly, and Miami. And then that'll probably take us pretty far through this episode here. So let's start with Memphis, Doc. I mean, the news of, what's the coach's name? I forget.
Jenkins, Taylor.
Well, Jenkins is fired. He's done.
Oh, the new guy.
The new coach. The one that Andre likes a lot.
Thomas Ilioso.
Yeah, that guy.
Something like that.
Been handling a lot of the offense there, and Thomas is Salo. Yeah.
Drew, I've told you, do not ask me questions I'm not prepared for. I just stared into that camera like a dead person. I was like
you were trying not to respond to a Grady Dick joke.
I was like turning my head like a dog that hears a high-pitched sound but isn't sure what it is.
Many miles away. Memphis, I mean, this squad's got issues. You don't fire your coach at the end of the season when you're what's the seating there?
Dude, I still can't believe that happened. It's still shocking to me.
Yeah, that's wild. I cannot wait to hear more about that.
And does that mean that Ja Morant's going to play in his next game? I mean, he's got a hamstring injury. He hadn't played in 6 straight. a lot of people are already speculating that John Morant got Taylor Jenkins fired. Is Ja going to play in that first game, or is he going to play this weekend? I don't know.
Scottie Pippen Jr. is probably rostered. I gotta think he's been rostered. I hope he's been rostered.
Awesome
in your fantasy league. Like, you can't do much better. He's been a top 25 player over the last like 10 games, and that's just, you don't find that very often in fantasy leagues at the end of the season, and he's doing it. So I don't think we can call him a streamer per se, but who do you like that's sort of on the fringes there in Memphis?
I wonder what Scottie Pippen's rostership is, Brew.
I'll guess like 33% while you look it up or something.
But if anybody who's playing for anything, if he should not be available on any waiver wire, I would not think. But just check and make sure he's not. You take him off the table, and all we have really is a big mess. Santi Aldama is starting. He had 10, 5, and 5 on Thursday, I believe. Nothing great, but he's playing big minutes, and he's a good player. So I think Aldama is worth it. I think Jalen Wells, I know you and Mark love you some Jalen Wells. He's worth a shot here. Zach Edey, if he happens to be available in your league. And then I think the list kind of dies. Maybe you take a flyer if you're super desperate on a Luke Kennard or a Jay Huff.
You had to do it.
I think you got to be pretty desperate to go there.
That's the Jay Huff talk that I know and love.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. Well, Aldama's been a top 100 guy all season. Some of his recent games have dropped him down the ranks a little bit, and that's really potent. Like, when he's going good, it's been top 75 and above. Even like there's been stretches where he's been top 60. I like him. If he's available, I'd go run and pick him up, like almost like, must add kind of material down the stretch. Yeah, there's some risk here with maybe he gets back on the injury list. But it uses kind of chances you have to take unless your roster is super loaded. Hard look there at Santi Aldama. Jay Huff lately has been getting minutes. Now, he's not going to help you, in too many categories here. Scottie Pippen, 37% in Yahoo, but 91% in the Sports Ethos leagues. That's the difference. If you want to play in competitive leagues, hit up producer Andre Lemouche, get in. I know there's something big going on with those leagues for this upcoming season. So if you want to try to get your spot, find Andre at ANDMLEMOS on Twitter or support@sportsethos.com, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. Just amazing leagues. I mean, if you want to play in good leagues, this is the place to be. Jay Huff over the last 6 games, just 11 minutes a game, and a lot of that's actually been this last week here. Top 140 the last 3 games, 12 points, 2 triples, 3 boards, 0.7 blocks. I mean, this is not earth-shattering stuff, but you got to just wonder, like, do they do something different with the new coach? What shakes loose here in Memphis would be the key question. Jay Huff, 1% on Yahoo, and 3% in the Sports Ethos leagues. That's my people right there. They know what they're doing.
And what was the percentage?
It's 1 on Yahoo and 3 on Sports Ethos leagues. And that 3% may not be somebody that's on air right now.
If you're in 11 Sports Ethos leagues, Brew, all 3% is you.
Yeah. No, it's not me. It's not me.
God, that's
though
great.
I need to play in some next year. I just have too many leagues.
Already. That is fantastic.
I will play in at least one Sports Ethos league. There is a person, shout out, says Andre, to the guy that named his team Bruski's Rib. I'm so pissed when they took the rib out of my body. I think I could have requested it and kept it, and I just totally spaced that one. It's like one of the biggest regrets in my life.
You could have turned it into we could have named a league Bruski's Rib, and we could have turned it into a trophy.
That's what I was gonna say, and made it the prize, and then it like goes from person to person every year. And they I was gonna say they Stanley Cup drink out of it, but no, that would be gross. Okay. Where were we? We were in Memphis. I think that's pretty much it. There's some interesting names, like if Luke Kennard gets hot, that could be, if you're looking for home run, like Luke Kennard. Hell, if Vince Williams Jr. is going to play in a game where everybody else is out, you could kind of look there. But I'm not going to. I'm not thinking. Don't do that, folks. Just stick with the names at the top of the list that we brought up here. The second best early week streaming schedule belongs to Orlando. They go Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. This team is ugly. Like
it's gross.
It is. But I mean, there is Anthony Black.
There is Anthony Black. And guess what, Brew?
What's
He's
that?
13% rostered in Yahoo. He is available, I bet, in a couple leagues somewhere.
I wonder what the Sports Ethos number. I bet that number is like 30. Or is it 30 or 40?
Oh, I bet it's 50. I bet it's 50 or 60.
Yeah.
But it's all hinges on Cole Anthony, right? Like Cole Anthony has been out. And if Cole Anthony comes back, it's going to totally buzzkill Anthony Black. So you need to keep an eye on that. I guess if you want to stream Corey Joseph because he's starting, feel free, but it better be.
I'll never talk to you again.
There better not be anybody else on your league's waiver wire. Like I would consider him in 30 deep because I just need a warm body at this point. But he's not available. And then there's Wendell Carter Jr., who's playing okay. Like he could be doing a lot worse. So I'm okay with streaming WCJ if you need a big man on a random night. Goga's been terrible. I'm out on Goga. Contavious Caldwell.
What a fall from grace for that guy.
Yeah. I think he got 15 or 16 minutes last game.
He had one game in the last month where he was good, and he did it in 7 minutes. He had 3 steals and a block and 2 blocks in 7 minutes.
And Contavious Caldwell Pope, dude. Last game, 34 minutes, 0 for 4, 0 points. How does that even possible? I bet you that dude misses Denver so badly.
Oh yeah, him and Bruce Brown. Money ain't everything. Chicago, they're the other notable early week option. They've got a back-to-back Monday and Tuesday. What do you say about Chicago? Well, I know we got the Josh Giddey show. It's been fun for everybody. It's actually been productive for the rest of the box score. Anybody you like in Chicago, Doc?
Dude, I watched that Giddey.
Did you watch that live?
That whole sequence. No, I didn't see it live, but I watched it with the sound on at least 15 times this morning. It's the call that the guys make and the play and the LeBron and Lucas standing there watching it as it's coming. The whole thing is beautiful. And
some of the videos that popped up, from the crowd, there was a couple courtside seat guys that recorded, and just the mayhem. I've seen one of those before. It reminded me of when Tyreek Evans, pardon me. It was his grandma was sick, and then he played that night, and it was against Memphis, and who was it? OJ Mayo goes and hits this crazy shot. It's a game winner shot, 1 second left, and then they let him in down the ball to Tyreek, and he hit that 70-footer and bedlam in Sacramento. And it's just I got to actually get goosebumps right now remembering that shot. And
dude, I was at the Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan push-off 3-pointer near the buzzer in a playoff game at Market Square Arena. I was in the very top row. My wife and I were there. We got free tickets, and I'm like, let's go. We're sitting there, and Reggie pushes off Jordan and hits that 3. And dude, that building exploded. It was bouncing.
Right. The shaking of it.
Feel it, and everybody's just screaming, and then they inbound the ball to Jordan, sort of like Giddey last night, or the other night, and Jordan fires it up from deep, and it rimmed out. But when Reggie hit that shot, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen happen live. Like it was, I don't even know what I could compare it to, but it was mind blowing. I cannot believe I was there.
You know what? It's so funny. In the background in the chat right now says, because Andre knows what a Corey Joseph fan I am, and I feel bad. Corey's a good guy. He's a great guy by all reports I've gotten out of Sacramento. He says Corey Joseph made a 14-foot jumper with 25.9 seconds remaining to cap a game-ending 11-0 run that rallied the Detroit Pistons past the Sacramento Kings, 133-131. I think that's a revenge game if it happened in 2022.
When was that?
I don't know, but man, that's our producer's better than your producer out there. I don't know who we're talking about, but
all right,
but our producer's better.
We're talking about the Bulls.
The Bulls and streaming, and I will omit my cool at an arena story because it's gonna just be pointless. So
I thought you have another one?
Yeah, no, I saw the Kings come back from 20 down in their what was supposed to be the last game in Sacramento as the team was getting kind of ripped out of Sacramento, and they came back, and that place was like kind of in its last leg, the arena itself, and the loudness of that arena, it did feel like something was going to break. And so I know what you mean by like the building is moving back and forth because of some crazy event. Marcus Thornton got red hot. And when they tied it, or I think they went ahead and then it went to overtime. But then Kobe killed him in the end. End of story. End of story. Right. Fan appreciation.
Who are you streaming in Chicago, bro?
I'm going to stream, Kevin Herter, no matter what, if he's available.
Be rostered.
Yeah, should be rostered. Yes. It's interesting to see Modest Bacelis start to pick up the pace a little bit. I don't want to get over my skis here. 24 minutes a game in the last 7, so that's what I expect him to play going forward. But like the averages are 13 points, 2 threes, just about 4 rebounds, and then 1.5 combined defensive stats. It's not great, but that might be my top stream out of Chicago. Who else you got?
You're not gonna say it, are you? This is the first time we've talked about Chicago all year where you did not utter the infamous words Jalen Smith.
That's because I have given up hope.
Dude, the first 3-pointer the Bulls hit in that game on Thursday, it was Pat Williams that hit it. And when I was watching it, the first time I saw it, they're like, Williams for 3, yes. And then Giddey steals the ball, Sub-Zero for 3. I was like, Williams, what Williams plays for the Bulls? Surely to God that wasn't Pat Williams. So I was shocked to find out that Pat Williams actually can make a 3-pointer. Brew, I didn't know that.
That's so. I feel bad for Pat.
I'm with you. I think it's Herter all day. Then it's Modest Bacelis, and then you make sure that Trey Jones does not come back and isn't available somewhere. But I mean, I'm not messing with Pat Williams. I'm not messing with Jalen. I'm not messing with Dalen Terry. I'm certainly not going with Zach Collins. Now, if Vooch gets a day off, you roll with Collins. But that's about it.
They're rotating these big men. So it's like one time Jalen Smith's in the rotation and the other Zach Collins is in the rotation, and the minutes maybe wobble a little bit. But yeah, that's as far as I would go as well. Now let's look at the best streaming schedule starting on Tuesday. That's bringing us to Milwaukee, Minnesota, and Philly. They play Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on all of those quality days. This might actually be the sweet spot. Memphis has got that kind of built-in advantage, but this also looks really, really nice here. So Milwaukee, usually a graveyard, but some guys have been perking up lately. Who you got there?
Well, Kyle Kuzma has been bad enough that it's possible that in shallow leagues he might be sitting out there. I mean, he's been bad. My 2 guys that I'm fired up about are Gary Trent Jr. and Kevin Porter Jr., both juniors, all the juniors. Do
you have any? Can I quickly inject Kyle Kuzma's per game value on the season since you went there?
Sure.
363.
Oh
Sorry.
my Lord.
I was a terrible interruption, but at least.
And you take Bobby Portis and Giannis away. How does Kyle Kuzma not do something? He somehow he's still not doing anything.
I would take Kevin Porter Jr. over Kyle Kuzma any day of the week.
Speaking of juniors, in the last show, I was making fun of Anthony Davis going 5 of 19 for 15 points and 5 rebounds or whatever he did. And I go, he's like Wendell Carter Jr. I was pretty proud of that, the double junior. So I would rank these guys like this, Brew. I'm going to go Kevin Porter Jr. 1, Gary Trent Jr. 1A. It's very close. If you need threes, you want Trent. If you need all-around production, I think you want Porter. Then I'm going to go Taurean Prince. Then I'm going to go Ryan Rollins. Then I'm going to go AJ Green.
Yeah, I'm great with that list. I think I might put Kevin Porter at the top of it. I just have this feeling they need to figure out what their offensive engine will be if it's not going to be Dame for whatever reason. And Damian Lillard, I don't know if we have news that he's definitely returning. I know there was speculation that he would return before the end of the regular season. Don't really know the status of the deep vein thrombosis in his calf.
I'm assuming he's done for the regular season, but
I mean, the history on this stuff has really swung. It used to be the case that you had a blood clot, you were like done for your career, and now guys are surviving it. And then, I mean, this is a week ahead look. Usually we'll have like Mark Camaro on the show, and Wemby just had his surgery reportedly, and there's reports, I want to say, that he's optimistic to play in EuroLeague or in international ball over the summer. Pardon me.
I'm sure Andre might know the answer to that question.
Eurobasket. Is that right, Andre? Like the point I was going to make is at least one doctor that covers sports in general said that this looks like the stuff I've been dealing with, the thoracic outlet syndrome. If he had the surgery that I had, I'm so concerned about his shot. Like it changes the structure of your shoulder and your your upper thoracic area. So we've seen guys have that surgery. We've seen Kyle Anderson have that surgery and Markelle Fultz have that surgery, and that didn't go well for either of them. This is from a dynasty perspective, a massive story that, like, because I don't know what I don't know about what he's dealing with, I haven't really been as loud about that as maybe I could or should. But I mean, in dynasty formats, people are kind of treating this like, oh yeah, this is nothing. He'll be back soon. And it's just kind of just rolling along. I'm like, I don't know about that, guys. Anyway, I hope he plays this summer and everything's fine. At any rate, Minnesota. Who do you like?
It's tough, dude. I guess Jaden McDaniels is number one. He should be rostered already. I'm not even going to mention Nas, because if Nas is not rostered in your league, then it's not right. And then there's Dante DiVincenzo, who should also probably be on rosters. So it leaves us very little to pick from. And really the only thing I see that I'm interested in is Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and I don't love that.
I would go Mike Conley there, I think.
I forgot about him.
I mean, that's the Mike Conley story in a nutshell.
I mean, I just assume Conley's rostered. What's he rostered at in Ethos leagues?
I'll go 67%. Because he's been really quiet lately. That's a guess, yeah. Sure, we'll get the answer.
I mean, if it's 67, that's a lot.
29. See, I was going on like name recognition, but no, he's been so quiet lately. 37% at Yahoo.
So yeah, if you need a streamer and Conley's available, I'm good with that. Move him to number one on my list. Out of sight, out of mind. I kind of forgot about Mike Conley.
He's a forgettable player this season. Interesting, because he's been the engine that goes. Philly. So coming off last night's game in Philly, it's just kind of the hodgepodge of guys there. My take on it would be that the whole group of Justin Edwards, Adem Bona, Jeff Doughton, basically he's got to be playing. And, that's always a game by game thing for him. And that's Yabusele, if he's active, if he's playing, your guy, Jared Butler, is I think you take all of these guys and you put them in a bucket, and whoever you feel best about in a given moment. Grimes, if he's playing, obviously that sucks up a lot of stats out of the box score, but guys have been playing pretty well across from him. Bona and Edwards are probably at the top of the list for me.
Edwards is at the top of the list for me.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm going Yabu. And Yabu might be at the top of the list. Yabu shouldn't be available, I wouldn't think. And really, Justin Edwards is playing so well, he should not be either. But I guess I'm going to go Yabu, Edwards, Butler, Bona. Controversial. And I think you're going to go Bona. Or are you going to go Yabu or Bona?
Bona.
Wow. What is your order then, sir?
Bona, Yabu, Edwards. Maybe Edwards over Yabu. Doughton if he's playing, but that's a big if. And then Butler.
Doughton only has 1 or 2 games left on his G League deal, so he's about out of time.
My hope for him is that he gets signed and they do it as a kind of like a, hey, that a boy, thanks for all the fun memories, and because he can't get another 2-way deal in his career, so he kind of needs to show other teams that he's sign worthy. And maybe that will be a favor to his agent and to him himself. But we'll see. All right. That takes us through the end here. Did we have any other screaming hot takes? Did you want to sing at all before we get off the show?
No more singing. No more singing.
No more singing? Okay. I see the Band of Horses shirt there in the background.
You do.
You could channel. What is his name? Ben? The singer?
Ben.
Yeah.
Benny Bridwell, my boy.
That's right. Okay. I guess that gets us out of here. No singing from Doc. One thing I want to ask from you guys, if you don't mind, we are making a lot of investments into the platform and we would love to get your feedback. Please send it to us on Twitter at Aaron Bruski, at Dr. A. Send it to me. Don't bother Doc, at Aaron Bruski, or support at sportsethos.com. If you want to get in on those leagues, which we've got a lot of cool stuff.
I thought we had an announcement coming. What's going on?
Well, Andre wanted to tease it, apparently.
Oh, so it's not happening today.
Not today. But if you want in, I know this. You can get your spot just by simply emailing one of us. And then you get put into the list, and then you're in. You're in. You're a VIP.
For whatever it is. For whatever
this new thing that's going on here. They're great fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. I'm intrigued. Apparently, I don't know what's going on at my own company. Shocker. That'll do it for us. Thank you, guys. Get the app. It's free. It's on all the Apple and Google Play stores, all that good stuff. Thank you, Andre, for putting up with us and running a great show. Thank you, Doc. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you golden tee it up and you win all of your matches. That's going to do it. This has been Fantasy NBA Today, presented by Bet Online, a Sports Ethos presentation. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, be well.